And of course, right now it's time for us to have the big conversation centered around technology, which of course is something that is taking over our world right now. And so we're talking about harnessing the AI revolution for Nigeria's development. And we know that artificial intelligence, or AI as it's being called, is changing how people live and work all over the world. It is helping in schools, hospitals, firms, and businesses, making life easier and faster. But of course, the big question today is how can Nigeria use AI to grow and develop as a nation? And to help us understand this better, we have Agbi Omon, and he's an AI consultant, also the CEO of LAMSI Concept. Good morning to you, Omon. Thanks for being here with us.
Good morning, Victor. Thank you for having me, and happy birthday.
Thank you, thank you so much.
Everybody must hear
you. Yeah. Now, we talk about AI a lot,
Yeah.
and lots of persons also talk about AI on a daily basis.
Yes.
But again, we have many persons who do not understand the concept of AI. Explain to us in simple terms what AI is all about.
Okay, in simple terms, AI simply means a tool that has been created to enhance what we do currently. It's like a thinking partner. It's also a tool, or I would say, that has been developed into so many aspects of apps to also help us with our day-to-day life, accelerate things we do, expand the way we think, and what it does is primarily to just source for information and harness them together. So it's primarily to help us harness, expand, and also improve on how we systemize things. So that's basically what it is.
And right now, it seems like lots of people are talking about it so much.
Yes.
You know, why now? Why is the talk so much about AI? You know, than it was in recent years.
Okay. I was at an event yesterday, and primarily it was about AI. I had an event sometimes last month, and it was primarily about AI. I attended a conference in Nottingham in the UK last month, and it was strictly about AI also.
Okay.
Why this is happening now is because people have seen how practical it is to use AI, and now it has helped with development. It has helped to boost so many things. Like you said in your introduction, it has helped education, the educational sector,
Right.
health sector, and it's moving faster than we thought it would move. And I know primarily people discuss the pros and the cons when it comes to technological advancement. But the truth about it is how you make use of a tool. It is not primarily about the tool.
Okay.
And the earlier we jump at it, the better. Because by the time we want to start off, maybe in the next 5 years, 10 years, it's like we are doing catch-up.
We're way behind.
And it's like somebody who has already crossed the line. He's first already, he's there. And there are people who are just deciding, okay, on what track am I going to be? So we don't want to be someone who is lost, confused, where in terms of categorization, they will term us Nigerians, or they will term us as the third world countries.
Yeah.
And the so-called big names are the guys who are already making use of AI now. And it's making technological advancement easier for them. We that are termed the so-called third world country have not even started. And it's just best to start it. Like I said, the catchphrase, we should not be left behind. We should not be backbenchers when it comes to things like this. So that's it.
Okay. I love that you already took it from this angle.
Okay.
Because we have seen AI evolve from being an assertive tool to a full-blown thought replacement system. And there was this online recruitment platform that released a report and said about 54% of CVs that were prepared by employees or prospective employees had 54% of them were plagiarized, which means I had the same CV, you had the same CV, we all had the same CV. Are we looking at a generation that can no longer think for itself? Because the the statistics of the people that use AI and what they use it for is quite scary.
Yes.
How do you ask AI if you should go out today? Like, how do you ask AI certain things? And I know you made mention of the fact that it's not about the tool, it's how you use the tool.
Yeah, right.
But are we at risk of having a generation who can no longer think for itself right now?
Okay. The truth about it is, I've said it, so I'm just going to repeat it and lay it as a foundation, build on it.
Okay.
Like I said, it's about how you make use of the tool.
Okay.
I listened to my pastor on Sunday, and he said, when we were growing up, the TV was the last thing. Once it's turned off, everybody goes to bed.
sleep.
That's right.
Everybody, regardless. And I think on Instagram yesterday, I was scrolling, I saw another video.
Okay.
Somebody just said it, that when we were growing up, you dare not
watch TV.
Watch TV after your dad or your mom had turned it off.
Yeah.
Then now you now place TVs in your children's rooms. I'm not saying that's bad. It's
absolutely
what you want, but now things are different.
Absolutely.
So it's about the strategy you use.
Okay.
I can also say that statistics is low. I'm not saying
it's low.
It's
I
low.
agree.
Yes.
I agree.
Because what people have now done is you have created an app or a tool that helps you create, let's say, I'm running my master's, my master's program, and primarily 3 of us have the same thing.
Yeah.
So what people have been able to do now is there's another tool by AI that they use to humanize the plagiarized content.
I have never understood. How are you checking? How are you checking
plagiarism.
Plagiarism,
yes, plagiarism,
or the humanity of a content with another AI
developed tool?
Yeah.
So what they do is there are also institutions. What they are doing now is also to checkmate the humanizing, or the, how would I put it now, the tool that is helping
people who humanize their content.
Who humanize their content. So it's a process. It just started off, and we are getting to learn what it is. I'm sure in the next couple of years, 5 years, 10 years down the line, would have policies strategically formed to be able to checkmate some of these things. But you know, now it's like you go to the ocean, you want to catch fish, you just throw your net at it. So you get whatever it is. It's at the point where you bring it into the boat, or when you get home, you start sorting. So I'm sure at this process, at now, we are just trying to sort, okay, what is this, what is this, what is this? And one of the scary questions that one of the persons asked when I went for that conference in the UK was, at what point is it to stop using AI?
Okay.
And so people started saying, let's start forming practical policies now. And those are the strategies we need to start talking about. Like the parent will turn off the TV and you dare not. But now, yes, we understand the generation we are we are raising. Some of them will tiptoe, especially when your bedroom is upstairs. You know. They step down and they turn on TV and they do their
reduce the volume.
Yes, reduce the volume.
No, you can even watch it without volume.
Some of them just watch it
without the volume.
For some of them, it's just to kill boredom and things like that. You collect their phones, they just find a way around it. So I believe it's happening, but we need to systemize and control it. Yes.
Talking about systemizing the whole thing, talking about it here in Nigeria as well.
Yes.
We want to talk about AI revolution. Now we've seen lots of young persons who depends on AI, basically for content creation. Yes, they were watching a video, you know, and it was AI generated.
Yeah, this morning.
This morning, everyone, right? And some time ago, we had YouTube say, if you do not put in your original content, I think you're going to be taken off from the paid version of it. And maybe that's one way of regulating it from that particular platform. But when we talk revolution here in Nigeria, we often see people, you know, talk about it from the point of content creation. Is that what AI should be all about? Or is it what it's all about so far?
Okay. I believe that we need to build systems around it.
Okay.
Educate people. Because sometimes when you don't even know the use of something, you abuse it. So I think that's where we are. For us in Nigeria, our dear country, I believe we are still behind. Really behind. Let me give you a backstory. I was watching a clip on Instagram also, because I learn a lot from Instagram and YouTube, and I would also refer to your point about what AI, YouTube is doing to control that. Right. So a guy comes into the court. It was Zoom. It was via Zoom, and he had an AI lawyer.
Yeah, I think I saw that. I think I saw that.
Do you understand?
Yes.
And the judge was like, "No, what is this?" She was shocked, and the AI judge, the AI lawyer spoke for about a few minutes. The judge knew that no, there was something wrong. Yeah. The lawyer was too intelligent. Some of the things the AI lawyer was saying, and she was like, "Not in my court." She shut it down. But the truth about it is, that is where the world is going, eventually. Wow. For us in this country, the steps we need to start taking now is AI literacy. Okay. Starts from our educational sector. From primary schools, we need to start inculcating things like this, AI literacy, AI centers. Let's build the culture. Let's educate our people, starting from the children, even in our, what do you call it, in our civil service. Right. Because there are ways we do things now, and it's not proper. You still see people carry files around, office to office. You have to sign it. One click from your phone is sorted. I also know the fear of the AI development is, people are going to lose their jobs. I read an article yesterday where Amazon is going to replace, I'm not sure of the number now, but at least a large chunk, sizable number of their human staff to be replaced by robots. So I understand the fear, but when you can understand what it is, you can use it to harness your business, especially what I do, media. We employ AI in practically the large chunk of our productions. And it has helped us, but it has not replaced, which you raised initially. AI is supposed to assist. It's supposed to, like I said, help you improve. There are some people who can't write, who can't read. Sure. So what it's supposed to do for you, okay, you want to write a text, okay, you have written it, help me there was something that started initially before the full-blown AI was Grammarly. Yes. And what it helped us with then on Word document, you are typing, that guy pops up to say, no, this is how it is. That is what AI has done now to enhance, fully blown, but is not to replace. It's to guide you. Okay, this is not. But primarily, what it does is just to go around the internet. Okay, this is a better expression, and that's just it.
Okay. Now you are in the media. Of course, at some point we're going to mention that you're the head of media Koinonia. You have organized media workshops. I think this is the second one you've organized so far. Yes. Now, and particularly for this profession we find ourselves in, fake news, doctored videos. Right. In fact, you can't tell a real video from a doctored video anymore. Yesterday, I saw a video where Wiki was saying something, and I had to critically look at that video before I was able to determine that that's not what the guy said, that's not what he said. You'd see the cuts and all of that, but this has become very rampant now. Videos are doctored, the credibility of the media is watered down, being watered down gradually. Now, at what point do we create a balance between this AI we speak about right now and maintaining originality? Because whether you like it or not, an original content is an original content. An original write-up is an original write-up. The humanism in that content is what makes it original, right? So how can we create a balance while we want to still take advantage of AI and what it has to offer? How can we create a healthy balance between still maintaining the quality of original work and integrating that with AI?
Okay. I would talk about few things.
Okay.
I think number one is discipline. Don't over depend on AI.
Okay.
There are content, some churches, because I belong to the church space,
Okay.
there are some content you see, say text, and it doesn't communicate spirit to you.
Yeah.
So from there you know that, oh, these guys made use of AI
Yeah,
tools.
yeah.
It's good, it has enhanced whatever you are doing. It has helped you maybe restructure, but it has already taken out the spiritual content out of it.
Mhm.
So back to your question, like I said, I think we should start it now, not
Okay.
tomorrow. The over-reliance on AI would put us into trouble. Because sometimes when you see some videos created by Sora,
Yeah.
Sora 2 now,
That's a very common one now. I've
yes.
been seeing it everywhere.
But when you look at it critically, you are like, oh, this is not it. There was one, a popular blogger posted, and by himself he was like, oh, the woman was trying to talk to a boy who was playing a game, and the angle at which she was looking at him was different. So from there you know that this is not original.
Yeah.
Right.
But like I said, like what YouTube is doing, we need to start forming, creating strategic policies now.
Okay.
Even in some advertising agencies, they will tell you, some clients will tell you, we don't want anything AI. We want just the originality. But some people will tell you, it slows down our job. We've seen what AI has been able to do.
Yeah.
I can tell you for free, some people create their script with AI. AI creates everything, script, everything. AI even does the video. There is a movie that just,
Yeah.
that
Alex,
there are some
Alex,
movies that
yeah.
they've even done a lot, that from start to finish,
It's AI.
created
Yeah.
by AI. Nobody. There are songs now, there is a particular song trending on YouTube. It has a large chunk of views, and from beginning, scripting, instrumentation, everything, voicing, AI.
Wow.
Now you see people going about using videos of Tupac
Yeah.
to create content, the late Queen of England
Okay.
to
Okay.
create content. They are funny, but in the next few years, it's scary already.
It is
So
scary.
like I said, we need to start forming policies. Like Victor said earlier too, YouTube has started doing that. Once you have anything AI generated, they would not monetize it.
Okay.
For Instagram, if you post, they have started it, but it's in a subtle way. Once you post, they ask you, is there any AI tool that you used around it?
Right.
You can decide to click or not. But I'm sure once they improve on it, whether you click on it or not, by itself, it will be able to generate, if you have used any AI tool, from your captions
Yes.
to anything,
Okay.
to music, anything AI related, it's going to pop up on your videos. And say you are a media practitioner like me, you have told your client, no, I did not
Use AI.
use anything AI, and say
to check.
Instagram pops up and it's there.
Relevant.
So it talks down on your credibility, discipline, character, and all of those things. So I think the earlier the better.
But you see, you said something about AI not taking the jobs of people
Yes.
away. I used to be of the same opinion
Yes.
in the last couple of
Months.
ever since it started, right? Because we've argued it here many times.
Yes, we have.
I use AI. I use ChatGPT a lot,
Yeah.
but not to create an entire content for me. I give it the content and I tell it to
Yes.
structure it in a certain
Yes.
kind of way, which
Yes.
is basically about use. So my contents don't look like they are machine generated
Yeah.
content, right? But I know that not many people are able to use it, and people now share prompts. But when I started to see the wave of AI pictures, this started last month. I have been super worried because these pictures look extremely realistic.
Yeah.
I even tried it myself. If I didn't know that I didn't take that picture, someone sent it to me, because people will do those pictures and then they send it over to you. So someone sent a number of them to me. If I didn't know that I wasn't the one who took that picture. I can't even remember putting on that dress. I would have probably said, oh, the picture is very nice or something. They look hyper realistic. Sure. But I'm now starting to doubt whether or not AI has the ability to replace people.
Okay.
Let's take a look at Albania. Albania now has a prime minister. I don't know why they made the minister a woman, but Albania now has a prime minister. And last I checked, it's functioning properly. So at what point do we debunk the fear that AI is not going to take jobs? Because AI is already taking jobs from people right this minute.
Even to add to that, I think China and Japan, we also have AI that are actually serving people in the hospitality industry. You know, so we see all of these things happening, you know, going on in that AI space. So the fear, you know, of AI replacing individuals or humans in workplaces is on the high side, because we've seen them happen. Or
they've performed surgeries.
AI doing that, and it's very effective. You know, so
Well, I wouldn't say with technology, with advancement, like I said, there are the pros, there are the cons. Maybe this is part of it, especially because I was watching a video this morning, and let me tell you what it does. You can be watching a movie live on your screen, and you are in China. I pick up a cup or a mug of coffee. The brand name on it in China is different from me watching in Nigeria. It's another brand name. That is only achieved or achievable through AI. I'm in America or I'm in UK. I'm careful not to mention brand names. There is a popular brand
Starbucks
that pops up on my view. That is what AI is doing that humans will not be able to do. So when you look at it, for my production, if this AI tool is going to help me achieve better, it helps brands. It shoots up their visibility, revenues. Why not and if not? So when you weigh it and you look at it and you're like, oh, this tool is going to replace about 10 persons. If I don't need emotions in what I'm doing, why
you
not?
fire the 10 people. See, they're taking their jobs already. They're taking their jobs
I'll go
already.
for technology. I'm just being realistic and honest about it. But we also need to still stay in our space. Like what you said, some people don't even patronize some photographers anymore. Because I have AI tools, paid, free, just throw my picture there, and it produces
the experience is
beautiful
different.
pictures for me. But I just believe we are creating more introverts.
Absolutely.
Because, so that's part of the dangers. Because normally, that should have been an avenue for an introvert to step out with your family, to say, oh, let's go to the studio and have a photo session. But now, you see everybody, you're on your phone, and in seconds,
it's done.
It's done. So that saves me money. That saves me the cost of, using a paid
photographer
transport service.
It
saves me time, it saves me fuel, it saves me a lot of things. So we also need to start thinking, how do I make use of this advancing tool to promote my business?
And a lot of argument have been that individuals should, you know, develop themselves and learn how to leverage on it. But there are situations where you've mentioned some of them, you know, where I mean, there's no form of evolution or self-improvement that's going to keep me here. You've seen it that my my input in the organization is nothing compared to what AI is going to give you. But it's going to 10x your profit. And what I'm going to do to you or do for you is maybe 10%, or and then AI does, or what 10 of us will do for you is not up to what AI is going to do for you, and you're letting us go. You know, now we've worked on ourselves, we've developed ourselves. At what point do we not drop a ballast?
Because it's very scary.
We have driverless vehicles.
You know that TV stations now who even make use of AI.
Me, I'm confident AI cannot do this. Because how does AI cannot draw live examples?
Because I can input prompt into it, and it creates the video.
It does it.
All of these conversations can be created using AI.
Can they smell? Can it smell?
So they're beginning to even add a little bit of emotion to it right now.
There was even a church that it was an AI pastor. No physical pastor on this
And those
stage.
are some of those deep fakes we're talking about.
Yes. And there was even one by Mr. Fela Durotoye that I said, no, somebody used his face, everything to promote her business. And he debunked it, and he said, posting this is not for you to share, it's just for you to be able to report this and also learn from this.
Right.
So we understand it. And that was why I said we should now start working towards creating, do we even have infrastructural infrastructures to checkmate this? So that's why I said it's now we need to start creating awareness. This is the time to act and create policies around it, not tomorrow, because the more we delay, the more it keeps advancing. And so catch up is not what we are supposed to do. We are supposed to act now.
You've talked about infrastructure, which was where I was actually heading to.
Okay.
But I wanted to ask how ready we are. I mean, how ready are we in Nigeria, for AI, in terms of infrastructure, in terms of skills,
policies,
in terms of awareness, holistically?
Yes.
How ready are we?
Okay. Mada said something earlier on, and it calls to bear that are we as a country ready? Albania as a minister, in charge of AI. Even if we don't have a minister.
Not in charge of AI.
The minister
is AI.
Oh.
Yes.
That's an AI government official.
Government official.
Wait, so they pay that AI?
And the idea was there was a lot of corruption in the system.
Oh, now I get it.
So they created like a robotic figure, it's an AI robot, to oversee the affairs
of the
in
nation.
that sector because they wanted to curb corruption.
Oh, no,
so that's like an AI minister. It's not like the minister is in charge of AI.
Not human.
No, it's not human.
Oh,
it's an AI minister.
That's new.
Yes, it is.
New.
Can you see? So we wake up to different things every day. That's a country who has thought about that and have made use of that. But as a country, are we ready? I can't answer. So that I don't know if there are things ongoing already that we are not aware of. I don't know if, but as at now, I'm not sure we are. Because it starts from so many things as traffic control. You understand, sometimes you are driving and it's peak period when people are returning home, and the algorithm still stays the same. Ideally, we should have maybe people behind it or just employ AI. It's rush hour, people are going home in the evening, people are going to their offices in the morning. The algorithm should. So the way we think as a country starts from that. And from there, that's when we start talking about, we are not even out. The grassroots, if you send some of these clips to even our parents.
Did you see the one a human being turned to like a cow? You said,
yes. They would panic, and some of them will send it to you and pray. I've seen that, not from my parents, but you see some people just tell you their parents send this, and they are like, they pray, they say read Psalms, this and that and that. But that is what we are saying. AI literacy, awareness. Are we even doing all of that to even start off first before we even start thinking of policies to checkmate all of this? Because if I start creating deep fake of the president and using it to debunk things, how do you start debunking when people have seen that and it has gone viral?
And incite violence.
Yes, it can. And somebody who is popular uses that to stand on a platform and talks to about 1 million people. How do you want to quickly debunk it if you don't even have an infrastructure that talks to about 10,000 persons? So collectively as a country, we need to start now. We have talked too much. We have organized conferences. It's just to act now. I met a friend, I think, a couple of months ago. He had a friend come over, and what he talked about was just act now. Somebody is praying for international global doors to be open, and you don't even have a passport. You have not even, okay, you have a passport, you have not gone to any of the embassies, you think you want to step into their countries. So there are strategies we need to start formulating, policies, awareness now, not tomorrow. Now is the time to act.
Okay.
All right, of course. We have lots of questions that we're going to be asking our guests in the studio centered around AI, and possibly will delve straight to technology as a whole in Nigeria when we come back from this break. Of course, our guest has been Agbi Omon, and we are going to continue the conversation just a bit. Stay with us.
This is Rapid Broadcasting Network, RBN. We connect people, power stories, and amplify voices. On Rapid TV, we're rooted in culture and your window to the stories that matter. From news to lifestyle, we inform, entertain, and uplift. Join Rapid TV on StarTimes Channel 176, Nightcomsat. On Rapid FM, we speak your language, from the soulful airwaves of Umuahia to the vibrant culture of Port Harcourt and beyond. More than broadcasters, we're creators, amplifying that voice within with powerful content across TV, radio, and digital. Join us at rbnradiotv.com and all our social media handles. One network, one voice. Rapid Broadcasting Network, RBN, the sound of your city, rooted in truth, driven by impact.
Are you missing out on interviews, music, entertainment, thought-provoking discussions, and more? Don't sweat it, man. We've got you covered. No matter where you are, be part of the action 24/7, online and live.
On Facebook, it's Rapid FM Umuahia. On Instagram, it's official Rapid FM. And on X, it is Rapid FM 965. Tune in to Rapid 96.5 FM or listen to us live on our website at www.rapidfm965.com or radiogarden.com.
Better yet, get our mobile app from the Google Play Store.
Catch the pulse of the Southeast on Rapid 96.5 FM, the sound of your city.
Hey, Oyanam, all of radio.
Welcome back. You're still watching Rapid On right here on Rapid Television. Of course, we are having the big conversation, and we've been talking to the CEO of Lapsy Concept, the person of Agbi Omon. We've been talking about AI revolution here in Nigeria, how far it has affected our work as a nation, and how far Nigerians are accepting it thus far. And of course, our guest has been giving us answers to some of the questions that, of course, all the questions that we've been asking him as it is, But let's look at you've been talking about policies, advising the government, of course, to put in policies to checkmate all of this sort of thing. Talking about AI generally, but let's even talk about technology as a whole, which of course is where the entire world is heading towards right now. I mean, everything is centered around technology. From our schools to our homes, we use technology on a daily basis. In the place of elections, we use technology. Right now, many schools do their.
In the place of election, we think we use technology.
Well, we think we use technology. But we've had the new INEC chair, saying, well, he's going to do a lot of reforms and some of his ideas. But I think that's across to see what happened. Yeah. We talked to the INEC, one of the INEC reps, in the FCT about 2 weeks ago, and they talked about how they are not so sure, they're not so confident in their technology as it is.
The technology can have glitches. It
can have glitches. And we've seen all of these things having so many glitches as it is. But again, holistically, as a nation, how is technology, how are we accepting technology as Nigerians?
Okay. I'll be careful when it comes to Nigeria, because I think we are still behind, and we have not even started, not to talk of catching up. So I think what we are seeing as at now is individuals promoting AI, but to be able to have concrete impact, it has to come from the government. And what AI will do will revolutionize our political space. So it's a bitter truth, and it's a difficult question to ask, but are we ready? Because, like you said, Albania created an AI minister to checkmate corruption, to detect frauds, even in our banking systems. So it's not only about government. Are we ready to, if I know that I'm in a system that has loopholes, and from that system, my take home is supposed to be 1 naira. But through the lopsided structure, I can get 20 naira. Would I want to
fix up the system,
adopt a tool that would expose me? So that's a question I'll leave open.
Through the question back to us.
and I think somehow, if we pick up from there, you might be referring to the subsidy. Because that is one of the reasons that the president gave, and that's why they said lots of persons are benefiting from that subsidy. Not digressing now, but it is not a crime according to them, because there are certain loopholes and they are following through those loopholes, which it is not entirely illegal. And that's why they've not been able to hold anyone, basically. But let's go back to your loopholes in technology.
So, like INEC that you talked about, we had beavers. Beavers were supposed to help transmit results live from, say, each polling unit to maybe the state levels. Then from each state level, you transmit to Abuja. So why didn't beavers work? So it's not only about over-reliance on technology. It's not about the fact that we don't trust technology. It's not about the fact that, yes, we know there can be glitches, but are we ready to adopt and let it work on our systems and let it assist in, say, build a corruption-free Nigeria? So those are the pertinent questions we need to ask, because a lot of people are making use of AI in industries today. Like I said, in agriculture, it helps them to, what's the right word now? It helps them to predict, oh, is it going to rain? How long? What's the volume of the rainfall? And so they know what to do per season and things like that. So what we've just been doing is just, we know, by September it will stop raining. By this, it will. But now it's shocking to know that sometimes the weather changes and things just reroute. In our educational system, how are we making use of it already now? In the health sectors, like you've seen, it's been happening almost every day. You see the revolution in health sectors, and even in Kenya, they gave some guy a grant, I think. He used AI for sign language.
I think with is this sign language? I think that's which I saw was like a device to help interpret in multiple languages.
There's a way it sends, I don't know, I didn't read it up well, but I'm just saying that there are countries already adopting it. Kenya had a test run of the first
Supply drones?
No. It's a taxi.
Okay.
How do you call it? It's like air taxis.
It's like an air taxi. They have accepted it already. They have done this prototype. I saw it on CNN, and I was like, that's Kenya.
Right.
They have already started. They're on the path. But I'm sure there are fears, which I agree, not fear of how the AI tool is going to impact us, but maybe how it's going to expose some of those dark and gray areas. So maybe that's why we are still lagging behind. But it's not too expensive when it comes to adopting this. But I also believe in creating AI tools for Africa, for Nigeria, that speaks our language, that speaks our culture, not an adopted AI culture again. So it has to be able to speak our language, which we've started seeing. And in the technological advancement of AI being used in Nigeria, since I belong to the media space and the church space, there is a guy, his name is Dara Suraju, if I'm correct with the surname, but his name is Dara. I just stumbled on his article on his post on X, that's formerly Twitter. And he just started with a post or a tweet, and he was like, he wants to create an app that creates a situation where a pastor is on stage, is preaching, teaching, and he calls a scripture, and the tool pops the scripture by itself. Not you using tools like we have Easy Worship, we have ProPresenter. No, you don't need to type. The AI finds it. It's just, oh, for God so loved, it pops it up, and live, it's there. And just 2 days ago, I stumbled on the guy's page again. He has done it.
Wow.
And they had a test run at CCI in Ibadan. And I was like, I'm going to get this guy. Because people like that are already solving problems for you. Because
locally,
I dislike a situation where my pastor is on stage and he's saying, oh, media, help me.
But you try now. You do it well. You do well.
Yeah, but God's grace,
not as fast.
But it can be efficient.
The AI would help the efficiency. By the time he's saying it, it doesn't even need to finish quoting it. It pops
it up
within seconds. Yes, my guys do a lot of, no, I give it to them. I'm on air and I doff my hat for them. Before he says a line, it's up. But there is a tool that makes it better. So why not leverage on it? So I've told myself, this week, not this week, after this show, I'm going to ring up that guy and tell that guy, I want to partner with you. If it has to do with finance, how can we make it better? How can we make it sustainable? How can we make it open to the global world? And you won't believe when I talk about acting now. I have a friend who was part of my event the last time we had an event called AI and the Future of the Church. And sometimes last year he came up with a document and he came up with a solution to say, oh, let's help small ministries who have who don't have enough hands to do productions for them, media productions as it were, for churches. And we had conversations around it, we had a meeting, and that was it.
Didn't act on it.
We didn't act on it. And when I saw this guy, this Dara guy, do this, I was like, no way. In my office 2 days ago, a friend of mine had told me about another concept. Oh, let's do this, let's do this. And he just saw that somebody was doing it already. And the program was going to happen the next day. That was yesterday, 22nd, and today, 23rd. And I was like, it is time to act.
now.
So when
talks.
ideas drop, it's not only to you, it's not only to you, it drops to so many people. He's the first person that acts on it. I also understand the place of you acting on it and not doing it well. You can increase knowledge. You can partner with some other persons who does not even have an idea about it, but they know a bit about a tool that can enhance it.
Yeah.
So it also talks about collaboration. Even if we don't have strategies yet as a country, as a nation, I think we can pick from countries who are already doing things and doing it well.
Right. But that's even where my problem is.
We can just copy and paste.
No, but why do we keep copying and pasting?
Okay.
Because we have such a heavy reliance on the Western world here in Nigeria. Most times, if we want to talk about the security, recently there's a current report from the US. One of these podcasters talked about how there's a Christian genocide. And we have not rested, since that report came, we have not rested in Nigeria from then up until now. Because everyone keeps debunking, how can you outside Nigeria say that you don't have, there's a Christian genocide?
And people in the country are saying it's
and
not.
People in the country are saying there's no genocide. The last time we had a security expert on the show, and he was talking about how he doesn't believe all of the intelligence data that comes from outside of Nigeria. But we don't even have tools. So if the US comes and tells you today, because we rely heavily on the data that they give us, if we tell them that, if they tell us today that Nigeria has like 200 people, and out of the 200 people, 100 people have mental issues or they are depressed, we will accept it because we don't have tools that can help us manage or to measure what it actually is. So instead of relying on this community, because this is what I'm saying, we all have equal opportunities to access this knowledge. It's just one person lagging behind, letting another person do the job and then capitalizing on what another person has done. And I say it that Nigeria is not like totally free from the effects of colonialism. We still have, I'm serious, we still have like a rudiment of the post-colonial effect on us, because somehow we rely on what happens outside of Nigeria for relevance and for validation. So the next question I'm going to be asking is, how do you think Nigeria on its own can develop these strategies? Because if we're talking about independence for our nation, Nigeria, then we must look at exploring what we have within us. And that is building up the capacity of the people that stay in Nigeria and building enabling environment for these people to thrive, especially when it comes to technology and AI. So how do you think we can maximize what we have in Nigeria without looking outside?
I'm going to answer the question, and there is a potential question I know will pop out of that. So let me preempt myself. Data protection. Okay. During the conference I had, the AI and the future of the church, one of the panelists on the panel session asked that with everything we are doing, for the church or for government, do we even have data to support or to be able to curate anything we want to do? And that was where I was like, oh, this is true. A friend of mine said something this morning I watched, and it was like he stepped into a store and he did not know that he had been profiled
before he got in there.
As he stepped in. So somebody was like, oh, good morning, you're welcome. And somebody just popped out, oh, Mr. This, how are you? And he was like, you know me? I was like, yeah, I know you. You don't know me. And that person was just able to leverage on data and profiled him, and he was like, oh, you need to buy this set of shoes. And he said in his mind he was not ready to buy, but because of the way the person presented himself. But right here in our country, when it comes to data, we have BVN, we have NIN. You register your car with FRSC, VIO, you have all of those things. And we don't even have a central data. You step into some countries now, is e-passport, you don't even need anybody to stamp your passport. They would have scanned you, everything you are wanted, they would have gotten you. But in our country, it's scary the way we are living. And so we need to get our get our house in order and start now. I say now because we would keep endangering ourselves if we don't do that. If people outside the country can present data and facts, not just fact, they present video evidences to support their claims, and we don't even have anything to say, this is not it. Okay, at that point, can we also present the truth?
Absolutely.
To counter it.
Exactly.
But we don't. We just say, we just present a statement and we debunk it.
And then we say, don't listen to them. Yeah.
Recently, the federal government said, there was a coup.
Yeah.
And the defense headquarters also came out with another document to say, no, that's not true. So, who do we believe? So, even as a government, there is division.
Right.
So we need to put our house in order and start creating a way out. Because if we don't, trust me, the Gen Zs, the Gen Alphas, by the time they get this development through the outside world, through the platforms that are there, and they are not controlled. These platforms are not controlled. We don't control what comes into our country via all these platforms, Facebook, Twitter, X, YouTube, and all of that. We get content, we get information from all of those platforms. We don't even have our own to say, this is what we have curated for ourselves, for our people. There are some things you can never. Okay, I was reading an article this morning. A coffee company wanted to do an advert. They wanted to sell in Japan, but they couldn't because in Japan they don't take coffee, they take tea. So they did all they could and they didn't succeed. So what they did was they employed a child psychologist to promote a brand, to step into a culture and break barrier. What they did was they said, okay, sell to the children, make coffee,
attractive,
ice creams,
coffee ice creams,
from their tender age. So those ones embraced it, and now that they are adults,
they still go for it.
They go for it. So you can imagine how that has impacted that country.
And that's creatively breaking into that particular space.
Yes.
But let's conclude with this question now, right? Because you've been talking about starting now.
Yes.
And there are lots of young persons who might want to take advantage of the AI revolution or evolution going on in this part of the world now. What area should they be looking out for, to even start something, as a career, in AI?
Well, I think it depends on what they're already doing. First, I would say let them enhance what they do first. And before delving into any other thing, because you want to develop on what you have first before starting off on another thing. There are so many things you can do today from, let me start with my industry, script writing. You can employ AI. Photography, you can employ AI. But you cannot employ AI to do a live production, as it were. Absolutely. To come and take pictures, to come and take photos of people, to come and curate content for you. You can get all of those bits and throw it into a software that would garnish them together. That is possible. So I think we need to look inward for those who are watching this at this time. Whatever you do, photography, videography, script content, how can AI improve on what I do before I even step out into another ocean that I don't know if there is a shark in it?
Right.
Yes.
All right. Thank you so much, Omar, for your time. We appreciate
you very
it.
much, Victor.
Yeah, we'll be speaking with the CEO of Lamsey Comset, the convener of the Church Media and Creative Conference. Yes. Agbi Omar. Once again, thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
All right, let's conclude the program right here with myself and Martha. And just maybe tomorrow we might be having an AI Martha seated here.
Nah, it's not possible. impossible. There's only one Martha. You can't have two.
And that is Martha.
That's the truth. But yeah, it's important that we try to integrate this thing in our system. I'm all about looking for upgraded ways of doing things and upgraded versions. AI is not going to take your space away if you have learned to maximize it. So I know that it's possible for AI to replace certain people, and that's for people that are not competent in doing their job. Because remember that it's in the face of a need that something else is being born. So imagine that you employ or you hire a staff that's not being competent in their job. You'd start to look for other ways to do the job effectively. You see, so if you don't want to be kicked out by AI, learn to do your job competently. That's one. And then secondly, if there's an invention or an innovation, look for ways to integrate it into what you're doing already. So it's not like you're not fighting AI, you are embracing it to make your job a lot more efficient.
Of course, that being said, this is where we'll call it a wrap on today's edition of the Rapid Done. I do remember that you can follow us across all our social media pages, across our platforms at Rapid TV. And you can rewatch this very episode and every of our episode on our official YouTube platform, which is at Official Rapid TV on YouTube. And anywhere in the world, wherever you are, you can constantly watch us. So you cannot miss this particular episode or any episode in the future. Always log on to our website, www.arabianradiotv.com. My name is Victor. Okay.
And my name is Martha Alu, but you can call me Martha.
See you tomorrow.